G'day everybody, welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wrap, the RTD Weekly Wrap. Doing it from the office today. I've still got a couple of kids at home doing homeschooling, so I'm here teaching them, or trying to teach them about school. Actually, I just taught them about what a quantity is yesterday, so that's what we did for maths and how to work it out and how to multiply it out. So I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, but they kind of looked at me a bit funny when we first started working it out. But anyway, we got there. We all got our own ways of getting a point across. So last week we didn't have heaps of runners. We had a couple, three last weekend. We had Defend, went round at Cranbourne, drew a bad barrier. Jake Noonan had no luck, 3 and 4 wide the trip. First up, wasn't expecting him to be doing much because he's a big burly type of gelding, but is going to need a bit of racing. But in saying all that, he got beaten 2.5 lengths, that 3 and 4 the trip, and went really well. So it was a really good. There was a couple of things we can take out of it. Ping from the barriers, love that. He's a horse that's going to put himself on the speed. And Jacob Putty got through the heavy track really good as well. So that's a really good time to have a horse kicking off his campaign at this time of year, where he's going to get those wet tracks. So that'll open up a few options for him going forward. But he's a big, strong colt gelding that's going to keep improving as the campaign goes on. So keep an eye out for him. Lonrock, very disappointing at stall, pulled up with a few issues, pulled up with a kind of sesamoid issue and sesamoid tendon issue, and also pulled up with a bit of a breathing problem, so pulled up a bit distressed. He's in a bit of a bad way. We've decided to retire him. I'll touch on he's going to Laura Dixon's. Laura Dixon's going to look after him there, but I'll touch on in the end about how we place our horses after they've finished racing and the people we've got in place to take horses. So I'll touch on that at the end. RDD2 went round. He's here for we'll call it the John Farnham, the final tour. He was disappointing. Like, he got back in between horses. Things didn't work out well. He's a horse that likes to be able to get to the outside and get a bit of clear air, and he got buffeted around a little bit and didn't help him at all. They tended to kind of, on speed, tended to be the place to be as well, so he got well back. He'll go back to Tassie. I'm sure there's a couple of races in him over there, just in a slightly weaker grade, smaller fields where he doesn't have to get so far back in the run. He can settle 3 or 4 lengths off him and show a turn of foot. So he's happy and well, and he's healthy, so we'll get Adam to really get back to the drawing board. He should be ready to race on the 13th of June when racing goes back, so watch out for him. I'm sure got another couple of wins in store, and again I'll touch on at the end of the wrap. I'll touch on how we place him after racing life. So there are our 3 runners last week. Upcoming runners this week. So we've got Twitchy Frank. She's back. She's come back. She pulled up a little bit distressed last start, and she comes back to racing this weekend. Going to kick her off over 1200. Adam took her blood, so work's been really good. She's in a really good space, so she's only ever put in one really bad run for us, and that was last time she went round, and she had excuses, so that was in the Gold Distaff, so she had excuses. She didn't pull up great, so she seems to have bounced back really well. There's a few little options for her going forward. If she runs well on Saturday, there is a few options all over the place we can muck around with, but she'll get into a race that looks like it hasn't got stacks of speed on. It's one of those races, 1200s, she can kind of get outsped early, and it makes it a little bit hard for her, but looking at the speed maps that I've had sent through to me, her and Godolphin, the favourite, looks like they'll be the ones to beat. There is another 150 to 1 shot, but hopefully they don't push forward. So we might be able to roll across and try and control the tempo a little bit. If that happens, she'll be really, really hard to beat. Otherwise, she might just have to sit behind a little bit of speed and hope for a bit of luck at the 400 or 500, because she is a mare that we need to get rolling. So watch out for her. Crone goes round in the last at Doomben on Saturday. She's going to go around a 30 to 1 pop, and I don't think she's a 30 to 1 pop. I reckon she's an 8 to 12 to 1 type of pop. We obviously went through what happened to her last start. She's drawn a marble, and she should get a good run from Jim Byrne. The only issue is she's going to need some luck from around about the 600 to the 300, where she can get some clear air and really let go. If that doesn't come, we're kind of in a bit of trouble, and she's going to get back in the second half of the field. That's where she races best and comfortable, and that's why you see her record. She always races really well, but she is always at the mercy of speed and getting a bit of luck at the right time. So she's only won the 2 listed races, very, very impressively, mind you, but she's kind of she always needs that bit of luck at the right time. But she's going to go around at 30 to 1 pop, and I reckon she's probably the best 30 to 1 pop to go around for the whole weekend. So have $5 each way on her, and I reckon you'll get a run for your money. You'll get excited at some stage. Magna goes round, just 1600 metre race. He's been down at the beach since his disappointing run at the Bull. He pulled up with a heart fib. Looks like he's gonna, he's just going around for a pipe opener. He's going to be 150 to 1, and that's so he should be over 1600 at Caulfield. But we needed to find a race where we could get him down a little bit in the weights, just so he could go around. So he'll head round. We've also got Chromage. Kal-El's going to have a run next week at Pakenham over 1600. Haven't seen the fields or anything come out yet, so watch out for him. I reckon 2000 and blinkers, and that'll be the time when you want to be getting a bit excited about him. We had a couple trial. Old Bendigo Berserk came back and had a nice trial at Launceston. He'll be on his John Farnham tour as well. Let's hope we can get a win or two out of the owners, but he'll be ready to go on the 13th of June. Patominus is going to kick off on the 13th of June too. He had a trial. Looked good in the trial, so he won't be winning first up or anything, but he's ready to go as well. So good luck to Adam and all the guys over there at Tassie. I know it's been a really hard time for them over there, but they've handled everything really well. Can't say so much about the government, but they've handled everything really well, and they've tried to survive through this period. So hopefully they can thrive once they get back to racing. Press statement, Colt, Jeremy picked out, breaking in really well. Bruce O'Dell said he's probably one of the best ones he's broken in so far. Really impressed with his attitude and the way he moves. Rich Enough Filly's getting broken into. She's getting closer to the end of the start. She's the breaker has reported she's a nice mover, very good doer, very good eater, and got a really good attitude. So that's one to keep out for as well. The shares are selling slowly in those. I know we keep banging down the door. It's a tough time for people maybe at some stage to get in, but that they are both really nice horses, and there is some shares still available in those. So get on to myself or Rob. We have pending a couple of vets. We are looking pretty strongly at a couple of horses over in New Zealand. One's already sold. We've purchased half of a horse over there. We'll get you the name soon. We're still just working through some stuff over there, and once it's completely done, the vet's done, we'll let everyone know. She's a very impressive filly/mare. We're also in negotiations to get another mare over here and maybe have a crack at a kind of Seymour Cup. Try and get some black type into a Seymour Cup / matriarch kind of type of horse that looks like she'll get over a bit of ground, and her form's been really good over 1600 there, but she's been lightly raced and looks like she'll, we'll stretch her out a bit over ground. So Mick Kent and Mick Price, the stable that's absolutely on fire with Ocean X and every other horse that seems to go around, it will be having those horses. So get in contact with us. There is limited shares available in the other horse, but give myself or Rob a call or email steve@rollthedice or rob@rollthedice.com.au. And we'll get you some more information, but we're still working through those ones. Been through the trialers. Good news from a racing point of view. Racing Vic putting in plans for when people can get back to the races. Obviously, we can start getting back to the pubs in groups of 20. Things are starting to get back to normal, which is really good. I'll have to shave a beard at some stage because we are getting back to normal, but there is plans getting put in place. So they'll keep filtering a little bit of information to us all the time. So fingers crossed that, start of August, we can have groups of guys going to the races, because that's what we're all about. That's what we love, getting there, meeting new people, having a beer, and just to really experiencing the races, win, lose or draw. So that's a big part of our business. We want to have, functions, but we haven't been able to do open days, just marquees and stuff at the races. We've got big plans to do a heap of that next year so that everyone can get back and get together. Also, looks like Caulfield might be moving their carnival. Everyone's seen the reports. We're all over this. Myself, Mick Price and Mick Kent Jr. and Paul and any other trainers we've got going around. Henry have got plans in place for our horses when they come back in. If they come back in and they need to go a race and the race date's been changed, so we've got plans for both of those dates, so we know horses are going to be ready to go. The good thing about, if you want to take a positive out of moving the Caulfield Carnival, would be that it's going to push the whole spring back a little bit, so it might open up opportunities for the lesser run type of horse to go to, say, run in a good race in Perth, because it could dilute the racing quality, or even to the Magic Millions where it could get diluted away, because obviously Magic Millions is diluted anyway, but you still can bump into like a really good 2 or 3 horses in some of those races that might get diluted because it squeezes everything up, and some horses might be going to a Caulfield Guineas or a race over Caulfield, which is pushed back to November, and it just makes it too hard for him to get up to the Gold Coast as an afterthought. So that's a good thing, so keep that in mind. I'm sure that it'll all work out in 6-8 months time. Everything will be back to normal in that respect. So yeah, Anjada was going to race this weekend. I'll quickly touch on her. She's had another kind of slight issue. She's not a super happy horse at the moment. Henry's working really hard with her. We might send her around in the Golden Topaz at Swan Hill. Would love to win that race. Not sure if Henry's won it, but I know it as a kid. I used to watch it. It was a Friday, I think. I'd get home from school and see who won the Golden Topaz. So it would be great to win that race. So she might head around there. But she's probably getting closer to the breeding barn than not now. She's there's a Gold Coast sales. That's the other thing I wanted to touch on. The Vobis Gold sales are now going to be attendance sales, so we can go to the sales. It's going to make it a hell of a lot easier. We can see these horses walk around, parade around and stuff like that. So things are going to get back to normal. Inglis are going to run another one as well, kind of the book 2 of the Easter sales, where you'll be able to go to them as well. So that's really good. That'll make it really good for the sales we have had a lot of success in, the ready to runs. They were one that we really wanted to get up and see the horses, because we obviously had Scottish Dancer, Crone, some nice horses, got a really nice reliable man. So these ready to run sales look like we'll be able to attend them in some capacity. Just have to make sure that we're doing all the social distancing and doing things right. So that's another good bit of news. So that's about it for me for the weekend. Good punting. Get to the pub, have a beer, and hopefully you can back a winner. Keep in mind those 2 horses we've got for sale. Let us know if you're interested in a kind of more of an up and going type of horse as well, because obviously it's a great way to get racing and get racing, and have a horse racing in 2 or 3 months. So let us know on that one. Thanks guys, and we'll get a weekly wrap out and about next week. I'm obviously stuck in the office here today. I've got some kids still homeschooling, so that's something. But I'll be out and about next week, and I'll try and get a guest on next week to do an interview as well with us. The other thing is, I was gonna I haven't done it finished up this week, but racing lingo. So if anyone's got any racing lingo they want, kind of where I can get a trainer or a jockey or someone to kind of answer the questions. So one of them was a race lingo I used before, was a really good doer. So things like that, if you don't know a racing lingo or you want to know a bit more about it, get it through, because we'll do something. I know Lee touched on the newsletter last week, but we'll do something with that as well. Thanks guys.